Is it started? Oh, hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, testing. You could, yeah, you definitely want to double check. Are you here for the shell talk? Hi, are you here for the shell talk? Okay, sick. We're gonna start in like a minute. But yeah, feel free to take a seat. Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
It's not as much under tapping.
I usually shouldn't.
There we go.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Sounds okay enough.
Okay, let me just double check.
Sounds great. There's like a tapping.
I usually shouldn't. No, it's fine. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, it's fine. All right. Okay, I think we're good to start. I made these slides like an hour ago, but yeah, I just want to like share you a little bit of my lore. Let me get this out. How do I? Wait 1 second. It's so great.
Do you want this in shell announcements or everyone?
Yeah, everyone should be fine.
Should have asked the Diamondback defense for.
Hell no. Here. We're not gonna give you speaker notes, but Faylene missed my animation. Look at it. Wait. Look, ready?
Yeah.
Canva did it all, but I implemented. Okay, so this is called Behind the Bounce by me. My name's AJ. I like to pogo stick. That's why I'm like here to just yap about that and my like whole adventure. So basically for my lore, when I was around 10, I saw my neighbors jumping on a pogo stick and they were like doing like, they were trying to get to like 1,000 bounces and I was like, whoa, this is sick. It's like, I want to be like them. And these were like kids who were a bit older than me. And like for reference, I was the neighbor's kid growing up. So I was like that little like annoying kid that their parents would make me like include me in. So I was like, oh, I want a pogo stick. So eventually like for one of my birthdays, I got one and then I would just like pogo stick as much as I could. And like eventually that one broke and then I got a nicer one and then I would pogo stick to my local high school, which was like a half a mile away. So I'd pogo stick there and back. I was like 10 or 11 or 10 or 11. I would do that. And then I don't know why I did it. It kind of sucked and it would like hurt my body. But I was like, this was like before I knew who David Goggins was, but I was like, I had that Goggins mindset back then. But eventually I was around 18 and I was like, during COVID, I was really bored and I had nothing better to do. And I was like, I should get back into pogo sticking. So I eventually got this guy, which is a Vertigo, and these are like high-powered pogo sticks. So the difference between this and like a traditional one is this one is compressed with air. So it's just like a piston that you just bounce on versus like a metal spring. And these go for like $500, so they're like really nice or pretty expensive. But yeah, that's basically my lore. Or like before college. When it comes to like when I got to college, for the first few weeks, I like would like jaunt around campus or like pogo is what I like to call it. So I got a lot of attention. I didn't really know how to feel about this, and I honestly it gave me a lot of anxiety because it was like strangers are just looking at me, and this was like before I started filming myself doing like content stuff. But yeah. Oh wait, before that, I think like after this, what happened was like I was pogoing and a bunch of like people were like, oh, do you have like an Instagram I could follow? And like around this time I like deleted Instagram for like during COVID and whatnot, cause like social media around like 2020, 2021 was like horrendous to be on. So I was like, I don't want to be a part of this. But then eventually like people were asking, and then I started one up again. And then yeah, I don't know. I kind of like got attention, so I was like, let me try to like get a following off of this. It was like my original like intention, but that wasn't like what I really wanted or what people should strive for. That's like a part of like, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later, but going back to like getting anxiety from people just looking at you, I think my lesson number one from like doing all this is like, you should be really passionate about what you're doing, that you don't have time to think or time to care about what others think. It was all about like me like thinking, oh, what if people think I look stupid? And it's like, it doesn't matter. I like my hobby and that's why I'm gonna pursue it. And then whenever I try to like film myself in person in public, this is like another thing for content, is like, I used to think like, oh, it's so weird filming yourself in public, but then it's like, I would film myself doing pogo sticking tricks in public. It's like, if I can do this, I can do like pretty much any sort of like filming in public. So that's why now I like will like film in public now. So that's just a lesson I learned. First lesson at least. Okay, so this is a really cool concept. So there's this YouTuber, his name's Max something, and then he had this idea called echolocation, and I just want to play a little clip of that, and I think you guys would like it, maybe.
School, everything, I felt very isolated. I never had my like click. It was just like, like, is it me? Like, is something wrong with me? You know? The internet allows us to use some form of like emotional or like energetic echolocation. Dude, that is a brilliant concept. Of like, when I post a video, I'm sharing my views and ideas and energy out with the world, and the algorithm is like really complex and incredible, where like people who resonate with that come back.
And you've used the internet to, one, understand yourself better, and two, find people who understand you. And if you think about it, it's like, what are the odds that the people that resonate most with you are going to be in your geographical location? Like,
So yeah, so a part of that, like the thing that I liked about this concept of echolocation is like, it's like I can use social media not to like get clout or attention or followers, but I can like connect with people across the like the world basically. And that's what happened with like creating the ajpogo account. Like down the road, I've started posting and following other like pogo stick people, and that's how I like kind of like became a part of the community. And even though I only have like a couple hundred followers, all the professionals and the best pogo stickers in the world like know who I am, and like were willing to like kind of like accept me as like a pogo sticker, I guess, even though I'm like not the best at it. It's like I went to Pogopalooza, which is the world championship of pogo sticking, for the first time in 2023. I've never met any of these people, and these are people who are like traveling the world, like doing halftime shows. And I like went there, and one of the guys, his name was Duncan Pogo, he was like, oh, AJ. And I was like, wait a minute, you know who I am? I was like, I didn't realize that like people really like kind of like had a sense of like knowing me, and I thought that was like really cool. And another thing another clip I'd like to play is like a part of that echolocation is like from like the other side, you get to like kind of like hear their perspectives on things, and like these are like the world's best like pogo stickers, and like I like this like little thing that one of the guys said. Wait, let me.
Like, we've gotten little hate there, here and there, but I feel like the same hate anyone gets for being nerdy about what they love, you know? But like, the main reaction people get is just astonishment. They see the pogo, they stop, they stare, most of them walk away, but then like the most likely thing is someone's just like, what is this? How does it work? Why do you do this? How many of you are there?
Okay, so the thing that I got from this was like, when I'm out pogoing, I felt the same way, but I didn't like have anyone to talk to like kind of like relate to such a thing. And that's why like when I saw this like little like mini doc about some of the pros who deal with the same thing, it's like you have that feeling of connection with these people. So that's like a part of that echolocation like concept. And okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about is like kind of like startup shell a little bit. So I got in spring of 2022. I was a part of like the last batch of people from the OG Shell space. Honestly, Shell was like the greatest thing to ever happen to me. I think me getting in and finding a community of like people that I like resonate with was like a great thing. And I got to do a lot of cool things being in Shell. Like I co-founded a like art app. I like helped run Shell, and then I work at Learn Prompting. But what this like alludes to is my lesson number 2, which I don't know why the TV, oh, did it like time out? But yeah, so we'll get to lesson number 2 in a sec. Okay, so the next big thing I would recommend is for whatever you want to do, like try to have a community of people to help support you. Like just like entrepreneurship, like anything like content or like some niche hobby, it will be lonely, and like the biggest thing is like being around the right people. It's like really important. It's like, and like the other thing is on the other side is like don't let being a part of a community take away from what you really want to do. So it's like if it means you don't fit into like a certain group of people, it doesn't mean you should like just stay in that box and like just limit yourself. Like I think last semester I stopped pogoing because I was the only one doing it around here, and like I didn't have like that in-person connection. So I was like, oh, let me join skateboarding club or whatever. And like those people are great, but like I don't like skateboarding. I got a concussion after like 3 weeks. It ain't for me. So that's why it's like I just went back to pogoing, and it's like what I really want to do. And it's like even if I don't have a community for that like in person, it's still something I should do, because like every so often I will see these people at Pogopalooza. And yeah, so that's like the other big lesson to take away. And yeah, so another thing that I did was I went on like random adventures. Like me, Ben DeMarco, and Avik, all Shellers, like wanted to live in New York. So we were like, oh, let's just get an Airbnb. Ben and I shared a bed, and Avik had his own bed, and we were in this like small little room in Chinatown. And our apartment was run like a hostel, where it's like we had a room and there was 3 other rooms in the same apartment that were rented out, and like the bathroom was shared by us all, and like we couldn't use the kitchen, but we like really wanted to like do this thing. Like I really wanted to like live in New York and like pogo and like do content, YouTube stuff. Like this Cheeseball Man guy is a really big YouTuber. Like if you've ever heard of the Timothy Chalamet like lookalike event, he's the guy who hosted that. He worked for Mr. Beast. He's like a very like, his name's Anthpo, but he's like a very like mysterious, like he's a YouTuber that you probably have seen something from him at some point. But yeah, so he was like a cool guy that I got to meet, and what I learned from that and like going to New York and just like doing things was you can just like do things and make things happen. Like you don't have to wait for anything. Like you don't need the nice camera, the nice microphone to like make your videos, or like whatever you need to do something. You just need to like start now and like just do it. Like I wanted to make videos since like probably like 2020, like 5 or 6 years ago, but I never like committed to it. I tried, I cringed, and I stopped. But if you like start now and you like keep at it, you'll be fine. And I know I'm like saying a lot of like cliche advice, but something to remember is like all the cliche advice you ever hear, it's only cliche because it is true, and you won't like know it until it like happens. And it's only until hindsight that you like realize like, oh, it's cliche because it is like a very true thing. But everyone at home. Yeah, I think that's like all I have for my main like talk. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Like it could be Shell, content, pogo, life. Yeah, Arden.
You had mentioned that you preferred like New York as opposed to SF, but what is the main things that like draw you to New York?
Okay, so for the people online, Arden asked like why I prefer like New York or something, New York City over in SF. So New York is like, I like it a lot. First of all, this isn't gonna sound like real, but when I like went to New York and stayed there was just a feeling in my heart that I was like, I belong here. I'm a traditionally like a logical guy, and not like a like, oh, follow your heart. That's like not something that I do, but it was like I've never been emotional in that way. So for me, there was just that connection. First of all, but the other thing is like just from living there, there's so many different types of people. I like to say like people say like New York has diversity, but I like to say there's just different archetypes of people, which is like the same thing, but it's like everyone's just the main character. Like there's so many main characters in like New York, but SF is just like software dorks, like realistically, like not gonna lie, like no offense, but like everywhere I go, it's like, it doesn't matter like who you are. You could be like any sort of person, but you're like some like tech person, or like I was sitting in a cafe and like these two people were just talking about like raising money, and it's like, and these are like, I mean, these are like people that you wouldn't assume would be tech people, but they were tech people, I guess. But New York, you just have people of all backgrounds. Like one time I went to New York, I met a guy who like filmed for a pretty big YouTuber, Casey Neistat, and I was like, oh, like you can just like meet people, and the other thing is like you're so densely populated with people that like you just meet the random cool people. And yeah, SF just doesn't have all of that. Like I know a lot of people say like SF has that like talent density, but like I think New York has the same talent density, but in a more creative way, not in like a technical way. And I think that's just what I value. And like I just feel like New York, you really have to struggle to be there. And I think like that hustle mentality is like there, but SF is like, you don't need a hustle. You just need to like it's not that hard to like live in SF, I would say. But yeah, that's like, if that answers your question. Any other questions? Yeah.
You did like spray, pogoing, content creation, all that stuff. How was like the steps of like moving around things for the times where you're doing too much at once?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, so Oliver asked about like how I managed to do like all these random things. So the thing is, I thought I was a jack of all trades, but then I realized that I just do everything really badly. So when I worked at Spray, I wasn't doing the best job there. And then when I was pogoing, I wasn't really like locked in. That's why like the reason I stepped down, a part of why I stepped down as co-exec earlier this semester was like, I didn't want to, I think this goes back to my second lesson. It's like, I think me being a part of Shell and like running Shell at least, was that energy was taking away from like what I really wanted to do, which was like, just like getting actual like work experience from like learn prompting and like doing my hobby of pogo sticking. It's like you do have to find like one or two things you just want to lock in on. And for me, it's like I like the work I was doing at learn prompting, where I was doing content, but it more from like an analytical way, where I was like just focusing on like optimizing for like getting the most views. And then for pogo sticking, that's just like a fun hobby of mine, where I don't want my hobby to like, I don't want to optimize for views. That's like another thing is like, I think when I started pogo sticking or like making content, I was like trying to optimize for like how many views I could get, but then my videos would just be like weird. No, they wouldn't be they were like, it just felt more manufactured. But now it's like the videos I make is like me just really being passionate about what I want to do, and like or like me like just doing it because like learning a new trick because I want to learn a new trick. So like this, my big stick, I like when I do endurance pogo, that gets a lot of attention. But me doing the technical pogo, which is like my other stick, which is like a spring stick, and like doing tricks, that won't get as much attention as this. But I would say I'm more passionate about like actually like competing and like winning like the world championship of like pogo sticking. But yeah, kind of like, sorry, I go on a lot of tangents, but like going back to like what you were saying is like definitely like pick one or two things to prioritize. I remember like junior year, I was like, I'm just not gonna take any gen eds and just focus on my art classes, which were like higher level like video editing and like sound design and like 3D printing and laser cutting. So just like focusing on those things is like what I would say is like just pick a few things to really like hammer in, and it's like whatever you really want to do, just spend a little time doing that, like almost every day or every other day, even if you can't like commit too much time to it. Like if you want to make videos, just start little by little. Like for example, in your case, even though you're doing a bunch of stuff like sustainably running Shell and whatnot, if you can just like film yourself like building your like sensors, even if it's most likely proprietary, but like just the practice of it. For example, I'm just using it as like an example, but like like doing stuff like that is like good. And then maybe even I could use Avi as an example. It's like you building your watch. If you post it online, you'll meet people who have that similar like interest as you, and like you can like talk to and like figure out like how to do cool stuff with. But yeah, Ethan.
So you said how you get to really just find like one or two things to really lock in on, but I would assume they also have like maybe like 5 or 6 things you want to do. How do you like choose which ones you want to really lock in on, and how does it sit with you just like putting things aside and maybe not getting to it for like maybe another year or two? Because I personally have that issue.
So the question was like, you said like how do you prioritize the things you want to do even if you have like a bunch of things to do, and like how do you like kind of like put things to a side?
Yeah, like how are you okay with like?
Yeah, like so what I would say is when I first got to college, I tried a lot of things. Like I started doing Terps racing. I was a part of the UMD hair. Sophomore year, huh?
You're part of the hair.
I was. Yeah, I used to be a meme maker for the UMD hair. But I think something I did was like I dropped a lot of things just so I could like spend more time in Shell, like doing marketing stuff or something, which like, I mean, I think looking back, I'm glad I tried all these different things. I think first of all, it's good to try different things, and like you should, for me at least, like you just like vibe with what you want to connect with. And I think letting things go is hard. Like leaving Terps racing was really hard. Like it was like one of the first things I ever had to like leave, like as an organization, because like in high school, once I joined robotics, that's all I did. Like, but I'm just used to doing stuff like that. But like once you start trying new things, like it was like really hard because I was like in the middle of like making a part for the car that they need. I was like, you know, I don't really like doing this, and I like switched from Mechie to like immersive media design. So I was like, is like learning how to like lathe a metal piece gonna help me in like immersive media? It's like, no, it's not. So I had to like cut it out. And then I think I guess the best way to go about it is like, what do you really want to do? And to figure that out is like, if you had all the money in the world and you had like all your like problem solved, what would you do with your life? And for me, it's like if I had all the money in the world, I would just make YouTube videos and like just chill. And like I would live in New York, just like do random shit there, and like, yeah. But so that's how I saw it. So that I was like, oh, maybe being a part of, I was also part of the XR club. So I was like, I'm gonna drop this to be a part of Shell so I can do marketing stuff so that I can get better at the video stuff. And also I just like really like Shell. And I was in Shell for like 12 hours a day, which is probably like unhealthy. Like looking back, I was like, but like Shell is great, but it, by the way, can be a bubble at times. But yeah, I think you just need to have that North Star of like what you want in your life. It's like, I don't know in specific, like if you want to go down your software path like full time, or it's like if you want to be a comedian full time, right? It's like, even, so it's like, there has to be that North Star, and then you can try different things, but like don't, like maybe give it like a few weeks, and if it like clicks with you, I can usually tell like if something clicks, and if it doesn't, I just like have to like let it go, and just know that letting it go is like hard, but like you just have to do it. Like it's just like necessary, but it is difficult. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I think one last thing was
Everyone at home who's watching
this guy was sick.
Live your dreams, stay in school. Please, please do not get in trouble. Support my man AJ right there. Yes, sir. Have a good one, y'all.
So this guy like came up to me while I was pogoing, and like this happens, not this exact type of thing, but like people will come up to me and like just ask me questions because they are like intrigued. However, for the most part, what happens is if I'm pogoing here, that like little walkway on the side, I'll hear whispers of people saying stuff, but everyone's like usually nice, and I don't really hear anything like negative. But like, yeah, so it's like people like this are like kind of like help me keep going, because it's like that echolocation thing I was talking about, where it's like like-minded people are like like they're just there and they'll will come up to you, even if it's like you'll be alone most of the time, but like every so often people like this are like why you do it and like kind of like help you get like keep going. And yeah, that's about it.
Where on campus is that?
This is the public policy building. It's like a really nice spot. So yeah, yeah, it's. But yeah, so that's all I have. If you want to try pogo sticking, I have this pogo stick, and we'll go outside and do that. And if you have any questions that you want to ask me later, you're more than welcome to. But that's all I have. Thank you for showing up.
Sweet pogo.
Hey, Jeff, look at
How are you? Good. Thank you. Oh, did you stop it?